Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. This is my second buy of the week. This is portfolio update number 218. And what I do is in the second half of the week, I deposit $100 like I do in the first half. But the difference here is I put $20 into 5 different stocks for a total of $100. And I'll let you know that 2 of the selections were from comments. So thanks for these suggestions, and we'll see what those are. So what we're looking at right now, this is my taxable M1 stock brokerage account, my Average Joe Dividends portfolio. You can see we're at all-time highs. I mean, the markets are at all-time highs. We've gone down a little bit over the past couple days. So the 28th was our high point going down, but you can see though, just overall though, it's just been a massive climb up, and this doesn't really surprise me. The recovery from the tariff talks right here, that's what that is, that noise right there. And we're going to go on to, of course, in the future we'll go all to all-time new highs all the time. You can see right here, people would say, oh, the market's way too expensive here or here, but over time though, you just have new peaks. And what I do is, at least my strategy is, and of course what I'm doing is not investment advice. What I do is I dollar cost average into this portfolio. I also do it into an IRA. I do it in my 401k. I mean, I don't know if you guys will, shut off your 401k contributions just because we're at all-time highs. I think all of us just let it roll. And it seems to be a very effective way of investing, just to keep on buying and doing the same thing over and over. Over time, it's proven to be the most successful strategy. Anyway, so we'll go into the activity log and we'll see the deposit that was made in the third. It's the third right here. And then you can see here's the 9 buys. Remember I said 5, so I picked 5 of them. So we had 4 dividends that rolled in, and you heard me talk about these on the last video with Aflac, Black Hills, Pinnacle West, and Kroger. These will be dividend drips. So we're going to see the next dividends for these 4 go up. We're going to see the dividends for the monthly, quarterly, and annual also go up as well. So 2 of the 3 forces that move our dividends higher are going to be at work today. The only one we don't have is a dividend increase or dividend raise. So we have a buy. We have buys and drips going on right here. So we're going to click on the 9 buys and you'll see what I bought. We're going to click on each of these. I'm going to read off the fractional shares that were purchased for each of these purchases. Again, the ones that are $20 or $20.04, I had extra 4 cents that I put towards Coca-Cola. Those are the buys. So first buy, it was PNC. This is my selection. The $20 bought 0.09758 of a fractional share of PNC. Then next up, ADP. That $20 bought 0.06736 of a share of ADP. So these are small fractional share buys. Here's the first drip from Pinnacle West, and it bought 0.10097 of a share of Pinnacle West with that dividend reinvestment or drip. Black Hills, this is also a dividend drip. This drip is larger than my selections. 28.49, that bought 0.47772 of a share of Black Hills, so nearly a half a share on that drip there. Kroger, another drip going on here. It bought, the 630 bought 0.09316 of a share of Kroger. And then Waste Management, $20. This is another one of my selections. That bought 0.08895 of a share of Waste Management. And then this is the first selection in the comments. And leave a comment below if you want me to buy a certain stock. It has to be in my portfolio, though. I'll leave a link below to my M1 Pi so you can see what's all in this portfolio. And you can make a suggestion. Maybe I'll take it. In this case, I took 2 of them. And the first one is Coca-Cola, the $20.04. That bought 0.29281 of a share of Coca-Cola. And then Aflac, dividend drip, 1407. That bought 0.13326 of a share of Aflac. And then last up, this is another suggestion. Like I said, Lowe's, $20. That bought 0.07751 of a share of Lowe's. So we're going to click on the holdings tab, and we're going to come back to this in a little bit. It shows everything that's in my portfolio from the largest position to the smallest. But we're going to go on to my Google Docs spreadsheet. So we're going to update the spreadsheet so we can see what the new dividends are. I'll leave a link below to this as well so you can follow along at home, or you can just use it yourself and put in your own stocks as well. So what I've done is I put the company ticker symbol. You have to put this, you have to type in your own stocks if you're going to use it. The share price, it's using a Google Finance function. It's pulling from that cell of Coca-Cola to get the price of Coca-Cola live. Here's the average price of the shares of Coca-Cola that I have purchased. Here's the number of shares. This is going to go up. The average will also change as well. And the value, because I'll have more Coca-Cola. And then the cost basis, that'll change as well. You can see the VLOOKUPs on the cost basis shares and average. We're going to take that information from the tab over here, the holdings tab. We're going to paste it into the M1 data tab in a few minutes, and it's going to update all those values for the 9 different stocks we bought fractional shares. So I don't have to type in, it'd be 27 fields of data. It's going to be a copy and paste. It's pretty slick. So here's my gain or loss for each of these. You can see I've done well with Coca-Cola. Here's the percent gain or loss. And I know Coca-Cola is not going to be a huge grower. It's going to be a steady eddy over time. You can see like Oracle, things like Oracle, American Express, even Caterpillar has blown it away as far as gains, even KKR. But I like Coca-Cola. It pays a decent yield right now. You see there's the yield, dividend yield. And these are all quarterly except for my 2 monthly pairs in blue, which are O and BST. But here's the current yield. Here's the yield on my cost, which is higher because I've bought Coca-Cola shares for a lower price than it is today. So that makes the yield higher. And then here's the pay date. Everything on this sheet is arranged by the pay date. You can see we have some highlighted in green. Since today is September 3rd, that means they're paying today. So I have a rule in there. If it's today's date, it's going to highlight in green. So I receive these dividends. The 57.86 of the buys, those are going to be reinvested. We're going to see the next dividend for the 9 positions where I bought the fractional shares. They're all going to go up. And I've typed in the current dividend for these because these, like Coca-Cola, are going to change over here. We'll see if we can get Coke above $12. We probably won't get ADP above 5, but we'll move some of these. Maybe PNC goes above 10. It'll turn green, and so on. So we got all those in there with the waste management, and then Lowe's. And we can see here is the cash flow average table where it shows the monthly, quarterly, and annual dividends. I've just copied this over. We're going to see it change over here as a result of those 9 buys. Scroll over, you can see even a count up of like the total dividends. We can see the last dividend from Coca-Cola was $11.83. If I didn't buy any more shares in October, the new dividend would be $11.92, but it's going to likely be above $12. And so I like to track that to kind of see the progression of the dividends. Like Coca-Cola was 16 cents for my first dividend while I was building this portfolio. You can see how it's just gone up. There's no instance where it's gone down. It's just gone up. If there is an instance where one of the companies cuts their dividend or reduces it, they're going to be cut right out of my portfolio. That's one of the rules I have set up. And there we go, that line right there. If dividend is cut or suspended, that stock will be sold. You see my strategy here as well, buy and hold. I don't sell a whole lot, and I don't want to add any more positions. You can make a great argument. I already have way too many, but I like all these companies in here. I think they're growing. They're going to do well for the next 10, 20, 30 years. If I change my mind on that, well, I'll just remove them out of the portfolio. Of course, everyone's portfolio is going to differ. It's a choose your own adventure. So, I would not dare criticize what you guys are buying. So, I appreciate you guys have been pretty respectful of what I'm doing. I think I'm doing pretty good too. So, I'm just going to stick with what I'm doing. So we're going to grab that data from M1 here before we time out. What I do is in the holdings tab, I start with the name column, and I grab this data over here. I do a copy. We're going to go to the portfolio tab just to make sure we don't time out if we have to go back here for anything. But we do is you grab that data, which we've done, just did a copy. Then the M1 data tab, I paste everything into the A column. And what it does is I just do an equals like A4 to pull the number of shares for SCHD. Not sure why that's formatted dollars. One of these days I'll change that. But you see the cost basis and average. It's just pulling from the column here, the same column. And then there's the VLOOKUP against the ticker symbol. So it's going to pull those three values over. And SCHD, we didn't buy any more shares, so it's not going to change SCHD. But the 9 that did, it's going to do a VLOOKUP on the new number of shares, cost basis, and average. So I did the pay special in there, and it's updated. So we're going to go over the old dividend and then the new one, then the monthly, quarterly, and annual. So these are the baby steps that are taken multiple times per week. And again, this is due to a $100 deposit, so buys with my own money, as well as just dripping the dividends that were received this morning. So first up, Coca-Cola, old dividend $11.92. Now the new one will be $12.07 in 3 months. And then ADP, moving from $4.80 to $4.91. And then look at that, we put another one in the green, PNC, $9.90 to $10.07. And then we'll just take a look at, you can see the results of the drips here. And so here's the old dividend. We'll just do it as a grouping of 57.86. So these in December, these groupings will pay, instead of 57.86, it'll be 58.93. You see how the power, just the dripping those dividends, the accumulation of them has added it up. I think we bought a little bit of Kroger before with the BST drip, so part of that is because of that too. So, but we can see though how the next dividends are going up with these. Of course, this one moved the most with just, you know, the drip. If you subtract out the BST help with that dividend drip there, actually it dripped it from BST to Kroger with that buy there. So nice to see all these dividends moving up, and we have a few more with Waste Management getting closer to that $10 from $9.08 to $9.15, and then another one getting closer to that $10. This was a suggestion from Lowe's, $9.22 to $9.32. Coke was also that suggestion to buy it, and got us over that $12 mark there. Let's go over to the monthly, quarterly, and annual, the new average dividends here. We can see we're moving from $1,097.36 for monthly to now $1,097.74. Quarterly is moving up from $32.92.09 to $32.93.21. Annual dividends moving from $13,168.38 to $13,172.86. We're going to take the $1,097.74. We're going to put this all the way in the bottom. Scroll down here. It was $1,097.74. So I track any event within this portfolio, whether it's a buy or sell, a drip, or dividend increases, and we'll go over a few of those. But today's event, of course, was those 4 dividend drips and the $100 deposit, and that increased my monthly dividends by 38 cents. So not too shabby with those. I think Black Hills helped out there with that dividend drip, that's for sure. We can see what happened just yesterday with another $100 deposit and the BST Starbucks dividend drip. Since BST had a over $500 dividend there, that's why I moved the needle more at 70 cents there. Even though NVIDIA was one of the buys in there, and I'd still move the needle quite a bit. We can see other things. Let's see, here's just a deposit by itself, and here's just a drip by itself. Sometimes we just move the needle by a penny. And let's see, I'm going to look for the last, here's like the last dividend increase. It's been a little while. It was on the August 4th with Illinois Tool Works. So August is a really slow month for dividend increases. I think everyone's on their summer vacations, all the execs and everything like that. They don't want to make it probably a decision during all of their summer vacations. That's my best guess. But let's take a look at the ones that are going to occur in September, though. So it looks like everyone's back from their breaks, and then they're going to raise their dividends. So I'm waiting for these. I'm going to wait for these 5: Fifth Third, Verizon, Starbucks, Microsoft, and McDonald's. So we're going to see these 5. They're going to show up over here. Eventually, they'll be on this tab sometime in September when they raise their dividends, of course, with all the buys and drips along the way as well. So let me reset this back. We'll put all the months. We'll select all. And we're going to go to the Dividend Tracker tab. And here we are right now. Here's the portfolio value. We've gone down a little bit from August there. When I think it was August 29th was the high point. So even though August 31st, that's when I close out the portfolio value, round it to the nearest $100. We're down a little bit, but that's okay because we're just, it's crazy how high we are right now. Here's the current dividends received, the 57.86, which were dripped in. Here is the average monthly dividend, again, that $1,097.74. So far in September, we're 3 days in, I've raised my monthly paycheck from this portfolio by $1.08. So I'm going to be receiving, on average, an additional $1.08 more with just what I've done in September. And that's cumulative. It's not cumulative. It's ongoing. It's not going to be just one time you're going to pay that $1.08 more. It's every month going forward. And it's a month-over-month gain of 0.1%. Here's the annual dividends, kind of annual, like monthly salary. You could divide it in half and have like a bi-weekly pay, or every 2 weeks paycheck to look at it that way. Or here's the annual salary. I've increased the annual dividends by $12.94. There is another $100 deposit, so we're up to $200 there. So we'll just close it out. The net worth, it's gone down since yesterday. We covered it in the video. If you want to see explanations, I kind of go into the explanations of these. I'm not going to really go into it today. You can see, but we're still above the 1.9 mark, which is huge because one of my goals to close out 2025, I don't know if I'll do it. We'll see, is to have a net worth of $2 million. It will be tough because I had some things going on, like paying off the house. So that kind of froze that money by selling the right around 200K of investments out there. So if the stock market goes crazy, I have $200,000 less in investments. They're going to go up, but I do have home equity, which really, it's not as, home equity is great when you have a paid off home to reduce your expenses. Otherwise, to me, it's overrated because you really can't use, you can put it in your net worth as motivation like I do, but it really doesn't do much at all. I can't sell bricks out of my home. I could do a reverse mortgage, something like that, but I think it'd be really dumb. I mean, everything I've seen about something like that is really stupid. In retirement, I would never do it, a reverse mortgage, anything like that. So I should probably even, this line right here, some people don't like to put in their home equity. Some people do. They put their cars in here. I don't put my cars in here because they're depreciable, somewhat assets. I could sell them both, get some money for them, but it's so variable and depreciating. It's not worth it. I have, a few collectibles. I just don't worry about putting that in there. So that's all I had to show you guys for this video. We'll see if we've timed out, but we'll go over the buys real quick. And these are my selections, except for 2. Actually, 3 of them were my selections. PNC, ADP. Those are 2 of my selections. This was a drip. One of my selections. This was a viewer selection. Coca-Cola, drip, and then another viewer selection. So thanks for those selections. Keep those selections coming. And who knows, I may use them again. Thanks for sticking to the end of the video. If you got value from the video, please click the like button. Also subscribe so you do not miss future videos. I hope everyone has a great day and the great rest of their week. Take care.